Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the new Star Wars trailer, the final one that's coming out before December. I know everybody's excited. This Christmas for the final end of the final saga that spans 40 years. Um, the trailer looks pretty good. Um, there's a lot of voiceovers. It was released on the birthday of Carrie Fisher. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia. And it basically starts off in a jungle. Ray is running, and they show fighting scenes, and they show Lando Calrissian basically calling the, the the rebels to action, saying, "Look, we gotta get it together." Then Ray says that a lot of people say that they know her. You know that she's become famous throughout the galaxy. And Kylo Ren, you hear Kylo Ren's voice say, "Yeah, a lot of people say that they know you, but only I truly know you." And he emerges from the mist. Then you see a throne seat, and it's Palpatine. And Palpatine says, "For many years I have waited, and you'll finally all come together." Then one of the scenes, knowing that it's the last Star Wars, that gets you right in the feels is when C-3PO, the little Muppet, fixes C-3PO because apparently he probably had a short or something. Because in the last teaser trailer we saw back in August, he had red eyes. So he probably had a short or something, and he emerges back. He emerges back on, and he says, and Poe Dameron's like, "Well, what do you want to do, C3PO?" He says, "I want to take one last look at my friends." And then they show Carrie Fisher hugging Ray, and you hear Luke's voiceover, and he says the famous line that Obi-Wan said to Luke in the first trailer: "The Force will be with you." I mean, the first movie, the Force will be with you. And then you hear Carrie Fisher's voice always. So this is apparently an end of an era. I think that Disney is going to do other films, but it's not going to be the story that we know. You know, the Force, Skywalkers, all that is no more. The closing the chapter on that. I think what they're gonna do from now on is those Mandalorian videos. You know, the Mandalorian series and other side series like Rogue One, Solo, um, the Mandalorian, the Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, different different ones, animated and live action. But in terms of the main saga, they're giving up on that. Well, that's cool because, like they said in the Phantom Menace, every story has a beginning and every story has an end. And it's taken us 40 years to finally get to the end of this incredible cinematic saga spanning generations. There's people who watched the first Star Wars when they were kids, and now they're taking their grandchildren to see the last one. Amazing how such a movie can have uh, a movie can have an impact on on a culture, sort of a rite of passage type stuff, you know, stuff. I got been like, hey, I gotta take my child to see this because my dad took me to see this, and his dad took him to see it. And excuse me, I have sort of a cold. But yeah, it's become a rite of passage in our culture to introduce your young child to the Star Wars saga. Now, how you introduce them to it, in what order you introduce them to it, is up to your discretion. Do you do it in the order in which they were released, which is A New Hope, 77, uh, Empire Strikes Back, 1980, and Return of the Jedi, 83, and then the prequels, 1999, 2002, and Return of the Sith, 2005, then Force Awakens, 2015, um, Last Jedi, 2018, and 2017, and Rise of Skywalker, 2019. I say do it with the ones from the 70s and 80s first because those are the best ones. The ones that originally captured the imaginations of the people, that brought science fiction and fantasy movies back to the screen. Because a lot of people don't realize in the history of American cinema the impact that the first movie had. First of all, it was the summer when it was released. It was released in May. And it was a very hot summer, very harsh summer for people. And you just didn't see those type of the movies you saw in the 70s were kind of like dark, gritty. They weren't optimistic at all. They didn't feature battles between good and evil in the way that A New Hope did. And it was never a movie like that. People actually thought with the advent of television in the 50s that cinema would die because nobody would go to the movies anymore because they could just watch stuff on TV. But it was movies like Star Wars and Jaws, but here we're talking about Star Wars, that saved cinema, basically. And of course, George Lucas becomes successful and he starts he starts ILM movie studio and he gets involved with special effects in movies like The Terminator and movies like a whole bunch of special effects type movies, Avatar, and just changes the face of what is possible in terms of visual storytelling. Because people talk about the dialogue, especially in the prequels, it wasn't that good. It was wooden. The acting wasn't great. It was wooden. But George Lucas was always the type of filmmaker that he was more focused on the visual than the story. He wanted to bring to life this fantastic world of Star Wars, and he gave us a gift. He gave us all a gift in America. This gift of his imagination. Just like people like Stan Lee, Marvel, people like Walt Disney with his animation studio, people like um, J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings series with his books, people like uh, Bob Kane and Bill Finger with Batman, people like James Cameron with Avatar and Terminator and Titanic. They showed us what is possible in the art in the realm of your imagination, basically, like Willy Wonka says, and what you can bring to life with hard work and dedication. And these stories, like with the Wizard of Oz, will live with us forever. So I like the trailer. I'm gonna go see it, of course, and it's going to be great to finally see the end of this 40-year-old story that inspires so many people that in England, a religion was actually created in honor of the Jedi Code. People actually dress up in Jedi robes, they have lightsabers, they actually, well, they don't actually use the Force, but um, they devote their lives to it, and it's kind of crazy because you're like, oh, well, it's just a movie, but to them it was more than a movie. To them, it was something that they experienced with their dads, maybe their moms took them, and most likely their dads, but their moms, and it was something that they shared together, like sons and fathers will watch wrestling, sons and fathers will watch baseball together, football together. And, yeah, these are just movies and games and TV shows, but they're more than that because they're your memories or songs. They're your memories. And for me, the Star Wars saga has created so many memories on a personal level and just impacted us as a society culturally at a time when we really needed it. The country was going through a recession, a malaise, and it was Star Wars that gave us the hope and the optimism that we could continue. Peace. And don't forget to like and subscribe.